Rochester's new homeless encampment ban is causing one man, this man you saw right there, to speak up. KIMT News 3's Brandon Coate shares why this man is saying this new rule is jeopardizing his safety.
And after quite a bit of rain earlier today, we're seeing quiet conditions right now, but more rain and even snow is back in the forecast here for tomorrow. We'll talk about it coming up.
And it's a heartwarming farewell as a courageous child battling cancer embarks on a dream trip courtesy of Make-A-Wish. I'm KIMT News 3's Sanana McCall with more on an unforgettable story.
Plus, a huge night for Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Moving on to the Final Four, more from this game and what's ahead for the Black and Gold.
KIMT News 3, coverage you can count on. This is KIMT News 3 at 10.
Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on KIMT News 3 at 10 o'clock. I'm Cami Raisler. A Rochester man experiencing homelessness is opening up about the city's new homeless encampment ban. He says this new law will endanger him. KIMT News 3's Brandon Coate has been following this story from the beginning, and he has more for us tonight.
Corey Jacobs started living in his car 7 years ago. He tells me he's unable to live in shelters here like the Rochester Community Warming Center due to a disability. He says the recent passing of the ban on homeless encampments is detrimental to him and others experiencing homelessness.
I'm terrified for my life. Because of my life experience, I know as a fact I will die as a consequence over this ordinance.
Jacobs says his hearing impairment, along with a combination of other disabilities, leaves him with no shelter to accommodate his living requirements.
I live in my van as a necessity because I'm unable to find housing that will actually meet my needs.
He says others like him with disabilities who are staying out of trouble are bearing the brunt of the new rules. Under this ordinance, no one is allowed to camp on any city property.
The enforcement going after vehicles, cooking equipment, bedding, and
Like you.
tent, they focus on the wrong things in order to enforce the ordinance.
Anyone who violates the ordinance can face up to 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine.
The harm is too great, and I'm not actually contributing to the things of why they want these tools in the first place.
He says he relies on Social Security disability insurance to survive.
I told the city I can't comply. I don't have a way to legally comply.
Jacob says his payments would be taken away if he were to be arrested for something he's been doing for years, peacefully sleeping in his van at parks.
For some of us, it's outside factors that are outside of our control, and we're essentially being punished because of the conduct of others towards us.
Jacob says he is wanting the city to re-examine the camping ban ordinance to be more inclusive of him and others living with disabilities. In Rochester, Brandon Coate, KIMT News 3.
And we did reach out to the city council about Jacob's living situation. Council member Sean Palmer tells us the city, county, and himself personally tried several times to offer Jacob housing. Palmer says Jacob rejected the help because he told him he needs to own a house by himself to ensure his disability accommodations are met. A live look now over downtown Rochester on a day that was filled with rain off and on. What are we expecting right now? KIMT Storm Team 3 Chief Meteorologist Aaron White joins us with a look at what's going on tonight and tomorrow. Hey.
Yeah, hey, we're tracking more rain. We even have some snow back in the forecast.
Oh, okay.
Not really what we want to hear, but that's what we got here as we go through tonight and tomorrow. Thankfully, it's not going to be a lot, but we're tracking some snow here for your Tuesday. As we look back at our time lapse from downtown Rochester, we had a few snowflakes around midday, but mostly rain here across the area on our Monday, and rainfall totals were fairly decent. We had anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch, over 1/2 inch in Mason City at 0.65. We had 1/2 inch in Dodge Center and just over 1/4 inch in Rochester. So some decent rain here on our Monday. We're still tracking a couple sprinkles right now, but more rain and even that chance for some snow will start to fill in as we go through late tonight and for your Tuesday. We're tracking some snow showers around in the morning, rain showers here for your Tuesday afternoon, and we could be talking about even more snow showers here as we go towards the middle of the week, and we'll get you a full check of that here in your 7-day forecast.
Nearly 1 year ago, Kaylee Pepper, a 13-year-old from Northwood, Iowa, received some shocking news. After a period of joint pain, she was soon diagnosed with osteosarcoma, a bone cancer. KIMT News 3's Sananda McCall met with Kaylee earlier today to learn why she's choosing to look on the bright side. And Sananda, this was a special day because there was a little bit of excitement involved with it.
It was, Cammie, and she actually tells me it's a disease she's only been able to battle with the help of her family, friends, and music. But in a week, Kaylee will also be receiving a helping hand from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. She and her family are heading to Disney World in Florida as a granted wish from the nonprofit. And I did sit down with Kaylee and her mother tonight at her send-off pizza party at Pizza Ranch in Mason City. Kaylee described the past year as difficult, but on the bright side, it's allowed her to live every day in the moment. Kaylee's mom, Christina, describes her daughter as the strongest person she knows, and she says Make-A-Wish has given the family a moment of joy. Now, Marianne Davidson is a Make-A-Wish volunteer who submitted Kaylee's request to Disney World. She tells us why this is personal.
I had a best friend who had cancer, and she was granted a Make-A-Wish, and her wish was also to go to Disney. And it was just amazing to watch the joy and excitement that it brought to her and her family. And I knew that when I grew up, I wanted to help other children's dreams and wishes come true.
Now, we will have more from Kaylee and her mother shared under the story on our website at KIMT.com. Cammie?
All right, Sananda, thank you so much. Looking forward to reading their comments on our website. You can also find more information on how to become a Make-A-Wish volunteer for an opportunity to make a difference in a child's life. We'll have that at KIMT.com as well. Well, it is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, and Olmsted County is working with Voices for Children to raise awareness about how we can advocate for kids to prevent abuse before it happens. The campaign is producing posters, pins, and webinars to draw attention to the warning signs of a child abuse case and what resources are available for victims. Last year alone, the county's Child and Family Services received calls for more than 400 cases of suspected child abuse, a number they're trying to lower for this year through community education.
We all have a role in preventing child abuse and neglect. So to create that safe, vibrant community that we want here in Olmsted County, it's going to take us all. So we feel raising awareness is the first step in that. And we really feel like families know themselves best. And so they're going to be the first people to notice.
If you suspect a child that you know might be a victim of abuse, the county recommends that you call their Child Protection Intake Line. That's the number you see right here on your screen. That's 507-535-5625. Minnesota-based chemical manufacturer 3M will begin payments this summer to many U.S. public drinking water systems. This is part of a multi-billion-dollar settlement over contamination with potentially dangerous chemicals. This deal compensates water providers for pollution with PFAS, a broad class of chemicals used in non-stick, water and grease-resistant products such as clothing and cookware. PFAS have been described as forever chemicals because it doesn't degrade naturally. It's been linked to a variety of health problems, including liver and immune system damage and some cancers. 3M announced today that last year's lawsuit settlement received final approval. Now let's take a look here. The agreement calls for payouts through 2036, depending on what additional contamination is found. The amount paid out will range from $10.5 billion to $12.5 billion. One of the lead attorneys says some of the settlement money will help additional water systems test for contamination from PFAS. Systems have until June of 2026 to apply for compensation if contamination is found. 3M pledged in late 22 that the company would stop manufacturing and using PFAS by the end of 2025. Well, there you have it. Iowa is marching on. A historic night for the Black and Gold after a 2023 title game rematch against LSU. Iowa beat the Tigers 94-87 in a thriller this evening. Caitlin Clark led the way for the Hawkeyes with 41 points, 12 assists, and 7 rebounds. What's next for the squad? Well, our Mary Peters will break it all down coming up in sports later this half hour. And speaking of Iowa, authorities are on high alert there, urging the public to come forward with any information to apprehend a swindler. Why the FBI is looking for this man on the run. And later, a Minnesota family fights for more affordable options for babies needing specialized diets. How a Plymouth couple says proposed legislation could help their son and thousands like him.
And later on tonight, we're likely going to be seeing some more rain showers developing, and we could be talking about some snow showers here for your Tuesday morning commute. We'll have a look at that and a full check of your forecast after the break.
KIMT News 3, first at 10. Your local news with KIMT News 3's Cami Raisler. Tracking storms with Storm Team 3 Chief Meteorologist Aaron White. And sports with Sports Director Mary Peters. This is KIMT News 3. More local news from your neighborhood